Hi, I'm Lindsay and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a nice eye look using the Full Fantasy from Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee, Los Angeles, and then I'll probably add in a little bit of the Transition palette from Dominique Cosmetics. I already did my base today. I'll link all this stuff down below, what I use, but we'll get into the eye look. Now I already primed my lids, and I use the Milani eyeshadow primer. Very little bit of it goes a long way, so I'll probably own this for a couple years. But I am going to start off, of course, with a transition shade. I'm going to use a nice fluffy brush, and I want to use the color Bestie. So we'll just kind of tap that onto the very tip of the brush and kind of just swipe this right over my crease. And just give it a little bit of a lay down shade. This is actually a pretty pigmented eyeshadow, so I don't need much. Nice and subtle. So my next shade I'll probably be using is the shade Cloudy up in the brow bone. Now this is my first ever YouTube video. I've of course been watching YouTube for a very long time, all different things, but mostly of course makeup. And I love makeup. It's kind of been my little area where I like to kind of sit and just enjoy myself and have a little bit of me time. All right, my next shade is going to be a more little dense kind of blending brush. And I love to use the color What's Going On right here. So a little bit about myself. I've been married for 18 years. We are a military family. And we have a 7-year-old boy. He is the funniest little thing ever. He is the exact in-between of me and my husband. So I'm just tapping that out on the outer corner. But we are currently stationed in Seattle, Washington. We just moved here from Tampa, Florida. We were stationed there 3 years. And before that, it was Panama City, Florida for 4 years. And before that was Wilmington, North Carolina. I loved that city so much. I'm just tapping it and then gradually going up with the shadow now due to my lovely hooded eye. Just do a little blend. I like to keep my color kind of concentrated. But before Wilmington, we were stationed in Boston, Massachusetts, and Gloucester, Massachusetts, each for 2 years. I love that area too. I just loved going downtown Boston and just walking. I just love to walk and see all the cool things that city had to offer. And before Boston, we were stationed in Grand Isle, Louisiana for a year. And before that was Cape Canaveral, Florida. So we have been in Florida most of our military lives. But I was born and raised in Louisiana. I was there until I met and married my husband. And we've been on the move ever since. This is actually our last station. But since I just moved here, I decided this is the time to finally do what I've always wanted to do but always been scared to do, was makeup on a platform, either YouTube or Instagram and all that. So this is a big step for me, and I'm mainly doing this to have fun, connect, hopefully teach you something, but just to have something that is for me also. And thanks to my husband and my family, and even my son, who's like been cheering me on in the background as I'm trying to navigate this new thing I'm doing. I'm so grateful for him. But that's just a little bit about myself. Now I'm going to take the same color, just a little bit on the brush, just the tiniest bit, and just on the inner part of the eye. I like to look down at my mirror for this part. I don't want to go too crazy. I'm not looking to go on a date night look, or I would say going out, but 38 years old. I really don't go out. I mostly work and then come home and just spend time with my family and the dog and the cat. But this is what I love to do. So you see I have my little depth on the outside kind of brought up, not too high. I still like to keep it a little softer. It is like probably 11 o'clock in the morning here. And then just a little bit of depth on the inner corner just to give it some dimension. Now, a thing I really love to do is I like to use a contour powder. This is from Sephora, and a very loose, fluffy brush, very loose. And I like to dab into my powder, and I just skim my nose just a little bit. Not too much. I'm not really trying to contour. I'm just kind of giving it a little something. But the main thing is I like to take this and I connect to my kind of like my inner part of my eye, just to give it a little bit of something to it. Now right now it looks a little dark right here, but my eyeshadow will kind of bring it back. I usually do this before my eyeshadow, but I wanted to be able to show this on camera. And a little bit of cool tone here always helps. But super easy. I use it every day on my nose, and then right here just gives a little bit of extra dimension to my eye. So my next color is going to be this really cool color. It is called Aries. Picked it because of my shirt. So I'm going to take it, but I like to use my ring finger or my middle finger. I get it on the very tip, just not too much, just on the tip of my finger. And I'm just going to kind of press it into that little void in between those two browns. I didn't put anything. This is kind of more of a sheer shade. It's more of the reflect than an actual like pigment color to the shade. But you can kind of see the motion kind of brings the color to life. I'll kind of just bounce that in the middle. And you can gradually build up this color, which I really like. It just gives it an extra little something, a little interest to the eye. Now I'm going to take the Dominique Cosmetic palette. I love this palette. This is a matte neutral. The pans are big enough that I can get a face brush in it, or I can get, of course, an eye brush in it. I use this for blush sometimes. I use this to highlight underneath my eyes, bronzer, but it has cool, pinky, warm, neutral, everything you need. It's kind of a, you know, just an all everything palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little flat brush and I'm going to go into these two colors up here. Up here are my favorite. Ooh, there you are. These two right here. Toffee and caramel. So I'm going to use toffee and I'm going to kind of just throw it right here on my lash line. Kind of like a transition. And then I'm going to use the color Chai. So I feel like this is going to bring out the bluish, this multi-chrome in that one shadow Aries. So I'm going to take it right on the tip of the brush. And stamp that on the lower lash line on the outer area. And I'm going to flick that up just the littlest bit just to connect it to the shadow up top. I'm going to do the same on this eye. And I'm actually going to drag it into that deeper color, that brown. So it kind of just have that nice brown, but now I have a little bit of color at the bottom that kind of bring in the pinky blue of that inner corner, that middle of the eye shadow. But I'm just going to kind of run that together with that other powder. But so soft, but it gives it an interest to the eye. So my next thing I love to use is the Moon Dust Urban Decay. I really don't want to change the color on the inner part of my eye, but I love a glitter. You don't have to add a glitter, but I love a glitter no matter what. I'm just going to take that on my ring finger and just tap, tap, tap. Just give it a little sparkle, and then I'll even do a little dabbing a little more. Just to kind of give it a little bit of a sparkle. Now I'm going to take that same Dominique Cosmetics palette and this brightening shadow right here. I have this cool little brush. I got it in a Dose of eyeshadow palette a long time ago, but I love this brush so much. So I'm going to first use the fluffy end, and I'm going to go into this frothy color, this like brightening color, and I'm going to put that right at the inner corner of my eye. So this kind of just still brightens that back up, but still have that depth, that interest of the eye. Do the same on that eye. And then I am going to take this Essence Pure Nude highlighter. It's another like highlighter that everybody knows about, everybody loves. I'm going to take the pointier end of that same brush, and I'm just going to put it like right at the tear duct. Right there. And then I'll flip it, because I probably still have a little bit of powder on this side, and just kind of diffuse it. Just tap it, diffuse it. Alrighty. I love how everything is looking right now. Kind of give a little interest in my eye. Nothing too crazy. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this Sephora waterproof eyeliner. I love this color. This color is Flirting Game. I'm just going to use that, my bottom lash line, right on my lash line. I don't like to put colors too much, or eyeliner too much on my waterline, I did have LASIK eye surgery about 3 years ago, and I don't want to, sometimes when you add too much eyeliner to your eye all the time on the waterline, I heard it can kind of clog your tear ducts. So as you know, if you know about LASIK eye surgery, you need to make sure your eyes are pretty much always nice and moisturized, even, you know, years after. So I just put it right on my lash line just to kind of give it some depth to my mascara whenever I apply it. But this is not too dark of a color. Just kind of blends in nicely. I'm going to take my absolute favorite eyelash curler that I've had for about 10 years. This is Shiseido eyelash curler. And of course, you know, every about 6 months or so, when I start seeing the line from the eyelash curler clamping down, that little indent, I always replace the pad so it doesn't, you know, tear apart my lashes. So I'm just going to curl my lashes. Give it some nice squeezes down at the base. And then I release a little bit and pull it up a little bit of my lashes a little bit more. And then squeeze again. And then next eye. Squeeze. And then release again. Squeeze a little bit again. And done. It just fits my eye perfectly. I've tried other name brands, but nothing really fits my eye as much as this one does. And I always do wipe off anything that was left behind from my eyes at all. Now I'm going to take a nice black eyeliner. This is the Sephora one, the waterproof one, black lace, just a matte black eyeliner. And I'm going to use this to tight line right underneath my, like right in between my lashes. Just trying to get that little bit of space in between each lash just to darken it up, to give it a little bit of something. I can smell food downstairs. My husband must be cooking something. He is an amazing cook. I am not great. I can do the basics. I can cook a couple little things, but he is like such a good cook. Actually, I think I hear the smoker outside. Wonder what he's smoking. And now I'm going to take the eyeliner that I use at the waterline at the bottom and just kind of drag that across the top of my lashes at the top. Then I'll go a little higher at the very outer corner. I love doing eyeshadow, and there's sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to do a quick, simple look, nothing crazy, and then I walk out with a, you know, huge, bold eye glitter, and I'm like, I don't know what happened, but it happens. So I'm trying to hold myself back today. Now I'm going to use that same like little smudging brush, kind of wipe off any product that's on there. And I'm going to use that dark brown that we used before on the outer corners. And I'm just going to stamp that eyeliner I just placed down, just to kind of set that. And actually I'm going to use just a tap, just a very tap, because it's a really pigmented black. Just a little tap on the very tip of the brush of that black, and then drop it there too. Boom. And then just what's ever left on the brush, because there's always something left, especially when you use black, just right on the inner corner. Now I always try to keep one like fluffy brush clean. Don't ever use any product or anything on it. And I'm just going to take it, if I see any kind of fallout, and just sweep it away. I always try to designate one brush because I've had before accidentally used a brush that I thought was clean, and I ended up putting bronzer or a blush like right underneath my eyes when I didn't want it. So I'm going to go in with the Maybelline, the Falsies Surreal Mascara, and just add some mascara to this look, of course. Just give my eye a little bit of something. Pretty good mascara. We'll see how it does. Just hitting up my bottom lashes, but not too much. Now, I don't do this every time, but I do it pretty often, especially if I'm wearing like a blue tone to my eye. I do have really dark under eye circles, so I'll take a little bit from this Tarte Park Ave Princess palette, these brightening shades. So I'm going to take a powder puff, kind of dip into both of them, and just hit, not right up against it, but just the lower part, just to brighten that up. I feel like that helps a lot. But that is my eye look of the day. What's on my lips is actually my blush. It is my favorite makeup artist, one of her products. It's the Soft Smudge Lip and Cheek, and I'll put it in the description box below. But is the color Soft Berry. I just put it on my lips with a little bit of like ColourPop lip liner, probably in BFF, and a little bit of chapstick on top. But that's everything today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope to see you again. Check out my Instagram. It's also Lindsay Ann Makeup. Whenever I post new videos, it will be on my Instagram. And if you click the like button and the subscribe button, I would really appreciate supporting me. But thank you so much for stopping by. Bye.